Welcome back, everybody. In this video, we're going to do the prep work for Shane's bathroom tub. As you can see here, we put plastic wrap on the outer partition walls. Reason we do that is to have a little redundancy in case water gets beyond the tile and the wonderboard. It is going to be caught by this plastic. We're going to use some of the leftover ice and water shield that we used to seal up the window. We had just enough of that left over where we can use that as a waterproof seal from where the plastic meets the tub and also the corners. And also we're going to put it where the studs are, because ice and water shield will actually seal around a screw as it penetrates the wood. So that actually acts as a gasket when a screw goes through it. So you can see here, I'm kind of trying to maximize the amount that we have. So we have this corner, that corner there, and also where it meets the tub here. But after we put it on, we noticed the plastic was a little floppy and didn't really have good reinforcement behind it. So Shane went through and put some 3/4 board horizontally where it meets the tub. Still flush with the front of the studs, but still enough so when we press that ice and water shield against the plastic in the tub, it has a good, stable place to go. So here he's also putting plastic in the little niche. That's probably one of the most important places to put it because water could collect there. But we did put it in a good position where it shouldn't be an issue because it's above where the water spray is when it comes off your body. So here we're putting in the ice and water shield where it meets the tub. We're basically just putting it so it barely catches the tub. I want to say about 3/8 of the ice and water shield is actually making contact with that rim of the tub. And the reason for that is you don't really want to see it beyond the tile, but 3/8 definitely is enough to make a good bond there. So we're starting from the bottom because you always want to work from the bottom and work up so everything shingles down on top of the lower pieces. Kind of like when you shingle in a house, you always start from the bottom and work your way up. So we're almost treating this like it's an outside of the house because it almost sees about the same amount of water, although it sees actually more water because it's used every day typically. So now our ultimate goal here is to get the shower to be sealed where you could actually take a shower in the shower or in the tub before any tile or wonderboard is put in. So that when you do that, you have a really good seal. So ultimately, I think we reached that goal. You can see here, we also put it on the studs. And the only reason we did that is for two reasons, I guess, is to cover up the staples that were put on to hold the plastic in place and also to seal up the screws that are going to hold this wonderboard in. So we're starting from the back because the sheets come in 5-foot lengths. So instead of trying to have to cut a small amount off of each one, we're able to use the full lengths across the back. So it made quick and easy work for that. There's really no difference if you started from the side or the back, in my opinion, but why not do less cuts as possible? So now we're screwing it in. Every stud I'm putting about 5 to 6 screws in each sheet. I should say on each stud on each sheet. So there's 6 studs across the back, so I put 5 screws in on each of those studs. So now we're laying these sheets actually horizontal too. So the long ways goes side to side. That's typically how you want to do that, just so it keeps less seams on the vertical, and that's typically a better way to do it. So we're screwing those in now. There's special screws you use for that that are specially designed for wonderboard or cement board. There's also a product called backer board, which is similar, but you need different screws, and it's a little more expensive too. So that worked out pretty well. Shane's cutting the side pieces now. He's using a regular abrasive wheel cutter with a diamond blade. That blade can be used for granite or any tile or anything like that. All right, so we got the plastic on, and we have the wonderboard on each side. Now for the tricky part. This is where we have to get some really exact measurements. So I gotta cut out, Shane's gonna cut out the valve. I'm gonna get the measurements for him. We're gonna actually measure off the front edge, because this back edge kind of has a little bit of a bow to it. So I feel like the more stable or more straight edge that we can get a measurement from would be from the front. So we get those marked out. Shane cut those out. So the first time, like anything, it never fits perfect the first time. So we were a little off there. So we almost were gonna cut that hole bigger or even cut from a different sheet. Then we realized on the right-hand side that we had a gap on the top and it was touching at the bottom. So Shane just shaved a little bit off the right-hand side. Now it on the lower right-hand side, now it fits perfect. So you can see that now. Now we're gonna work our way up to the top sheet, which we have to cut out the niche. We already put the wonderboard inside the niche. We did it so still the same principle. We want the water to shed off, even though we're gonna seal it to a certain extent. You can't beat doing things like with a mechanical shedding of water, whether you have to pitch it a little bit or just try to get rid of the water as soon as possible. So now that we got the wonderboard hung, we're using this mesh tape. It has an adhesive on the back side of it. So we're gonna put that on first, and that's gonna hold the thin set mortar where we're gonna patch the joints, where we're gonna fill in those areas so those also seal in the water. Shane's gonna do that on the niche and all the joints too. Probably the toughest ones to do is the one he's doing right now, where it's a corner. And what's tough about that is you have to try to make it so it's even on both sides and it don't wander left and right. And you have to, where it's sticky, it tries to stick before you actually push it in. So you kind of have to push beyond that and then get it so it really seals in the corner or gets really pushed into the corner. So after that's done, I'm gonna go through and start putting the thin set on all the joints to kind of have a good substrate for the tile and the thin set that's gonna go on the final coat. So I'm gonna start here on the niche, which is the most important thing. Why I keep saying it's the most important one, because anything that's inset like that has a tendency to hold water. And we really don't want that to happen, because there's nothing worse than a slow leak. It's one that you don't really notice right off. The good part about this is on the first floor, so we do have really good access to be able to see if there's a leak. So putting this thin set on, I want to put it on, I want it to penetrate into the mesh tape, but I don't want to leave enough on there where it's going to be a big bulky mess when we try to tile. So I really force it into the tape, and then I skim off and want it to be as thin as possible. That's why it's a little bit watered down. This thin set, it's really soupy, but that's allowing me to really force it in. I had a little left over. I don't think it's really necessary, but I covered the screws too to really seal those up. I think as it is now, if we could cover up the valve and the tub area, you could literally take a shower in this right now because it's that watertight. But that's going to be it for this week, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video.